interesting. The last aspect of these parks that I'd like to touch on is this concept of infantoriums. An infantorium is just a hospital-like facility filled with incubators, which were a new technology, turn of the century, containing tiny babies who were born prematurely. Now, you would expect something like this to evolve in a hospital, but for some reason, these infantoriums were in amusement parks. And for a small fee, people at the park could go and see these premature infants in the incubators. Now, I don't know, that doesn't sound like something I would like to do, but this is what was happening apparently. And I didn't know this, but apparently only 5% of all babies around the turn of the century were born in hospitals. So interesting statistic. And also, I think prior to incubators, only, according to the statistics, only 15% of all premature infants survived. But after the incubators, that number went up to 85%. So wonderful technology, but just seems really bizarre to me that it all of this evolved in amusement parks, and this technology was showcased in amusement parks and not hospitals. And the numbers they give us are that among approximately 80,000 premature infants were treated in amusement parks and fairs in Europe and the US between 1896 and 1944. Now, another interesting component to this is they admit that a percentage of this 80,000 were foundlings. So premature infants who were just given, or so we're told, just given away freely, and the records are long gone. So we'll never know what percentage of this 80,000 were foundlings. The price of admission, so you would pay 5 cents, whatever it was, 10 cents, 20 cents. The price of admission paid for the staff, and the parents owed the park nothing for the care of the baby. So it's everything sounds good. It's just the manner in which the association with as an exhibit and people gawking and all of this sort of thing, it just doesn't quite sit right with me. But the technology, it saved lives. So that all sounds good. And here are just some pictures of what an inside of an infantorium might look like. These are the incubators. Just some more images. Now, this person here, this Dr. Martin Cooney, is supposed to be the mastermind behind this entire movement, so to speak, behind these infantoriums. And we're going to talk about him in a second. But before I get to him, another thing that strikes me as odd about these infantoriums is the way they were labeled. Now, this one, nothing wrong, thankfully. But when you look at a lot of these infantoriums and the signs, infant incubators with living infants. There's just something that just seems so odd that you would need to specify living infants. I understand the mortality rate was high for premature babies, but if you were someone who went to go see an exhibit, would you expect that the infant wouldn't be alive? It just seems like that's not even in the realm of possibility. So really bizarre sign to me. This is just a different, in a different amusement park, infant incubator, living baby again. This is another park in Coney Island, infant incubators with, there's an L here, you can't see, but again, living infants. And this is just another one, incubators with living babies. Just weird, just really weird. Baby incubators with living babies. Man, that is strange. Now, another strange aspect to these parks is the mastermind behind all this. Dr. Martin Cooney, he apparently just thought it was a great technology, and he pushed, the hospital supposedly didn't want anything to do with it. So he worked his way into getting these exhibits in the amusement parks. And I think he started off in Coney Island. And Infantoriums spread from there to different amusement parks. But there's an interesting thing about Dr. Martin Cooney, and that is somebody wrote a book called The Strange Case of Dr. Cooney. Now, the interesting thing about him is he's not even a doctor. The man who ran a carnival attraction that saved thousands of premature babies wasn't a doctor at all. Now that adds a little element to this whole story. People speculate Martin Cooney might not have been an actual doctor. And if you even look up Wikipedia, Martin Cooney was a physician. However, there is good reason to believe he was not a trained medical doctor at all. So just another weird element to this whole story. And the estimate of prematurely born babies whose lives he saved is between 6,500 and 7,000. So again, at the end of the day, it sounds like he did a lot of good, but there are just elements to the story that it seems strange, the whole evolution of it. I'm going to leave it here for now, but I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, take care. Bye.
Reserve some for the foundlings.
As it should always be. The foundlings are the future. This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.